Good morning, everyone. My name's Steve Watkins from Jonesboro, Arkansas. Some of you guys know me as a journalist and a writer. Others of you know me as Pilgrim. And most of you who are watching probably don't know me at all and couldn't care less. And that's fine. I understand that too. Truth is, I'm just an average, everyday person, just like all of us. And that's why I wanted to kind of bring this message to you this morning, because I feel so strongly in my heart right now that a lot of us who are average, everyday citizens of the United States are hurting. And it's actually 3:30 in the morning here. It's troubling enough to me that it's keeping me up at night. I wrote a book that was published last year called Pilgrim Strong, and there was a phrase in the book that I repeated throughout, and I did it for a reason. I did it subtly, but I did it for a reason. And the phrase was, to find ourselves, we must go looking. And the idea behind repeating that phrase throughout the book was because of something I was sensing at that time. I felt like it was more important than it ever had been for us to understand as people that problems are not going to magically be solved, and the world is not going to just magically change for the better without us taking responsibility for ourselves and going out and searching for that change within ourselves and that change for the greater good. It's something that has to be pursued. It's something that is active, and we have to go after it. It won't just magically fall in our lap. And the truth of the matter is, without doing that, as long as we're just hopeful that change is going to come, as long as we're just expressing our convictions without actively doing something about it, we are going to feel empty, and we're going to have a void in our life that could be avoided if we just realize that we do indeed have to do something about it. I'm coming on 53 years old in February, and as I have grown older, just like for all of us, priorities change. I have become, and it's funny how things like this have developed a sense of urgency within me just over the last couple of years. I care a lot more now than I did about the environment. I care about things like clean, renewable energy. I care about truth. And we are having a big problem with the truth in our country and across the world right now. And while I'm speaking about this, and this is where I will lose some people, and I understand that, but I have grown to care more about the world. I do not consider myself a nationalist. It's a difficult topic to get into, but I consider myself a citizen of the world because I don't believe God looks at his children in the United States, and I don't believe that God looks at his children in Mexico or Canada. I believe he sees us all as his precious children, and therefore I try as best I can this side of heaven to see things the way that he sees them. You know, I always thought that our biggest problem in this country would be apathy, that we just didn't care enough, that we just gave up and we were just numb to what was going on around us. And I realize now that I was so wrong. Apathy certainly is not the problem that we're having in this country right now. But I would have never guessed that the problem that would put us into crisis would be the problem of hate. Over the last few weeks, we've seen people slaughtered in grocery stores and in Jewish synagogues. And I'm going to tell this story quickly too. A few days ago, because this was so it affected me in such a harsh way. Someone made a post on social media a few days ago that came through my feed, and there's been a lot of news recently about this Honduran. We're calling it a caravan of people marching north toward the United States border, and we're calling out the army, and we're doing all kinds of different things. A woman made a post that's in the name of Christianity that suggested that God in his vindictive wrath, there was a hurricane headed right for the place in central Mexico where the caravan was at that time. And the suggestion was that God in his vindictive wrath was sending a hurricane to destroy those people for the evil that they intended to bring to us here in the United States. And it made me sick. It still makes me sick to think about it. And that's where we are. I mean, that's where we are in the world with hate. I'm a language person, and I've been watching this for years, and I was concerned about it years ago when I began to see this us versus them language develop. And it's become stronger, and it's become more profound, and now we're Democrats or we're Republicans or we're red or we're blue or we're Christians or we're atheists or we're gay or we're straight. And I'm going to be quite honest with you folks, we have taken the bait. This has been fed to us by the people who are running a new economy where conflict and divisiveness, that's where the money is. That's where the sales are. And as long as we're kept in turmoil, we don't really know who we are or what we want. So our ideas are open to anything. We have taken the bait. Oh, my notes are falling down. We've taken the bait. We're killing one another now. That's where we are. We're killing one another over our rightness. And you know, it's no longer enough to be right. It's no longer enough that we're so right that the other person is absolutely wrong. Now we have come to a point where I'm right, you're not only are you wrong, but you are evil, you are part of the problem, and my all-time favorite, you're a special kind of stupid. I am so self-righteous that you are wrong, you are evil, you are part of the problem, and you are a special kind of stupid. This has to stop. This has to stop. And I'm going to tell you, we are the ones who have to stop it. The solution is not going to come from the top. It is not going to come from the government. It is not going to come from any organization. We are the ones who are going to have to stand up and put a stop to this. Now, this is going on way longer than I meant for it to. What can we do? We're a week out from an election. You need to vote. I don't care who you vote for. I don't need to go there. Just go vote. Express your opinion. Let's see where this shakes out, and then we'll know where we are. Please go cast your vote. And please don't fall into the trap that so many people fell into in the last general election about this idea that if there are two people running for an office and you can't line up with either of them, that you must make a choice, you must make a binary choice, or you must choose between the lesser of two evils. Do you know what the lesser of two evils is? It's still evil. In the last presidential election, I did not vote for the Democratic candidate or the Republican candidate. I couldn't bring my heart to do it. I was called every name in the book, told that I was wasting my vote because I voted for a third-party guy. I was literally called every name in the book. Change begins somewhere with someone. Do not buy into the lesser of two evils falsity. Voting is something you can do. running for office in the next election is something you can do. Some of us are going to have to make some difficult choices, and we are going to have to give up the comforts of private life, and we are going to have to get immediately and directly involved in this process to make a change. I bet a lot of you are weighing that idea right now. And it is something to definitely think about, and something to think about now. You can write books, you can write essays, you can write opinion pieces, you can have those published. Let your rational, intelligent opinions be known without getting into all the us versus them stuff. Thirdly or fourthly, you can volunteer. You can volunteer in your community. You can volunteer at a homeless shelter or at a food pantry or at your local church or wherever it is, because the truth of the matter is that most of us are not going to change the world, but we can change our small corner of it. And if you can make a difference in one person's life every day, then you have done more than most people will do in a lifetime. You can change your little corner of the world, and that's where it all begins. Over the next year, I've been thinking a lot about what I can do, and I'm going to up my game. I have 2 manuscripts for books working right now. I'm going to launch what I think is an exciting podcast called Boundary Pushers next year in January, where we're interviewing people who are actually out there in the world making a difference. And I'm also going to up my platform doing more of these videos. This is not my comfort zone, not at all. But if the only gift that I really have in this world is communication, I don't do this particularly well, but it's more effective than anything, and people will actually watch it. So I'm going to jump out of my comfort zone and do more of these videos as well. That went way longer than I intended, but I just feel in my spirit that there are so many people out there right now at this moment that need encouragement and need hope, and we need to all come together and agree that we can change what's going on, and that we can make a difference, and that we count, and that truth and words matter. I'm going to close it there. If you like this message, I hope that you'll share it with your friends. I hope you'll make some comments about it. I hope you'll share your thoughts about what we can do to make a difference and how we can kill this hate movement that's going on in our country right now. God bless, and I'll see you next time.